Are you familiar with the term cognitive dissonance?
Yeah.
Now, some people have accused people like you of cognitive dissonance in the terms of this. Like, we understand that within this solar system, there are no aliens,
There
right?
are no innate ones that,
Right, that we know of. You go to any other planet, we've looked at Mars, Pluto, there's probably no life, Saturn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if there are aliens, they are from very far away. And even at light speed travel, they would die on their way here. So a concept that you use yourself is that they travel interdimensionally.
Yep.
Meaning that they don't travel the way that other physics objects in physics travel.
Right.
They travel through a different means. Could someone say, well, that's just cognitive dissonance? You're just creating since science doesn't support what you're implying, you create a whole new type of science that can't necessarily be proven.
No, everything I'm saying has been proven, is proven. And by the way, I always say these are TDIS. It's transdimensional interstellar. So you're not going to go in a straight line. You can't go to the speed of light and stay linear. You have to drop out of linear space-time. It's like an Einstein-Rosen bridge, if you look that up. Or, instead of it being a straight line, you're from here to here, look at it as a plane, a 1 point, 2 points. You take it like a piece of paper and fold it. So it's right here. So it's folding space-time. And that's the gravitational wave effect, and then you have that ability. Now, just because it's not being taught at MIT doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because these are classified technologies. But
this concept, is like A Wrinkle in Time, Narnia, right? Where they actually take time, and instead of a straight line, you kind of jumble the line together so you could jump.
But that's the whole point of the conscious quantum holographic universe. If you read the studies on quantum holography, every point in time, this is quantum entanglement. Every point in time and space is connected to each other. Now, that's been proven scientifically on the particle level. What we're talking about, civilizations advanced enough to do it on the macro level, a spacecraft full of people or whatever. And now, the fact that it doesn't comport with the textbooks on physics at MIT, so what? We're like one half the step out of the jungle scientifically as a species. A couple hundred years ago, we had what? Nothing. Horses and buggies.
Yeah.
So, and you're talking about a universe that's, 15 billion years old or something. So I think that this gets into this whole discussion of not everything that can be known is known in the conventional scientific world. In fact, I'd say almost everything we don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's this huge vastness. But certainly when you're dealing with civilization, and we can prove those are here, because we have the bodies and the craft and all this stuff. Well, how they get here? Or they're not using the space shuttle, and they're not using SpaceX and a rocket. They're not. So then what are they using? That's the technology we're talking about, and it's been studied and developed. I think that this is a big, I always call this the big peace dividend down the road. Phase one of disclosing this will be the energy technologies that are just get rid of poverty and the damage we're doing to the biosphere and the oceans. Step two, once we have something resembling a peaceful civilization, what Michikaku calls a level one civilization, where we're not killing each other and destroying the biosphere. Once we become stable from that point of view, and we're no longer just killing each other over nonsense like we are now all over the world, then we can bring out the things that fly. So you'll be able to go from here to Paris in 3 or 4 minutes. And that'd be cool. Go there for lunch, come back. That's totally doable. It's already with technologies that exist. But you can't let that out now. Because if you let that out now, it's a missile delivery system for every terrorist in Mogadishu.
Well,
right?
if
So
you go from...
there has to be a process.
Yeah. If you can go from here to Paris in a couple of minutes, that means that you could travel to Mars in, a couple hours maybe?
Well, really when you ramp these things up, it'd be about 30 seconds. That's what the band, 30 seconds to Mars. I gave a talk a long time ago about getting to Mars in 30 seconds. So,
right.
So yeah, but
Which means that you could actually reach other planets that have Earth-like environments
We haven't been allowed
in a human lifetime.
Yes. Oh, it the next day or
Yeah.
a couple of days. The reason we're not allowed to do that at this point is that the extraterrestrial civilizations don't want us out there too far until we become civilized. Now people say, "Oh,
They
we
have
are
us on a
civilized."
short-
I said, "We're not civilized. Come to my ER on a Saturday night if you think
so
you're
what you're
civilized."
saying is the aliens have human civilization on a short leash.
They're watching what we do to see if we actually make it through this transition.
Okay.
Now, there are civilizations that have never made it through this transition and make themselves extinct because of their foolishness. And
We might be one of them.
we may be. Well, this is to be determined,
We're
my friend.
well on our way to that.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's like when Colonel Bearden said, "Now, don't get me wrong." He's from Louisiana, highest IQ, one of the highest IQ guys I ever met. He said, "Now, don't get me wrong. The fools may blow it yet." It's a great interview with Colonel Bearden. It's in our archive. Brilliant guy, absolutely brilliant. Physics, and he had been a lieutenant colonel Army. Knew about all the new energy, free energy stuff. It's just a genius. But I think that is the big question. So it is sort of an existential question and crisis. The only way, here's sort of the bottom line on that, the only way we can go forward and have a society here is that we become peaceful. And we can't go out into space and be a bunch of warmongering fools either. So that's why we need a space treaty. We need a treaty that says we're not going to put weapons out in space. We're not going to target these ET assets. We're going to stand those systems down. We're going to do an official CE5 ambassador outreach to these civilizations. So instead of shooting them out of the skies and hijacking them and shooting them, we're going to create a global rapprochement and peaceful approach to them, which is what should have happened in the 50s. Eisenhower wanted that to happen. He got subverted. This is why no president has control over those covert programs since Eisenhower, since about 56, 57, 58.